Pookie, baby girl. I don't like it when we fight. Call me back.
Welcome to another episode of Hot, Gay, and Sad Sometimes.
Sometimes.
My name's Emily.
My name's Nani, and cue the intro.
It's been a while since we filmed, and I have a
Ugh,
lot to. I have so much to catch up Nani on. Today's episode was going to be about twin flames, but then my ex
life be
decided to
lifin'.
text me. Yeah, my ex of about 10 months decided to text, or no, sorry, she called me um at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday night.
Was she
So
drinking?
that was the first question that I asked her the next day. I was like, were you drunk last night? And she's like, no, which is crazy.
Wild.
um but just a quick update, our UTIs are gone, we're drinking. We thought we were gonna die for a second, we thought we were pregnant, but we're fine. The crazy outcome about it was, and I want you to share um what happened when you shared your UTI trauma.
Yeah, so my casual dating that we talked about in like the first and second episode, he had been MIA for a few days, which fine, it was casual. And then he reaches back out, with the good morning, beautiful, da da da. Life's been life and it's just been a lot's been going on. Miss you, how are you, da da da. So, one of his questions was, how are you? And I was like, well, I can, agree with the statement that life do be life in, because I have a UTI alongside my period, and it's the first time I have a UTI, and this honestly sucks ass. But I hope things get better for you. Da 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 da. And then that was it. I never read the message, or it never was read. It was delivered, and the man's been MIA since. So,
Wait,
but
were
he's but he
his
was but he was alive because he was still looking at my Instagram stories, but not replying to the text. So I just like kicked him out of my Instagram and unfollowed him, and I wish him the best.
that I his red receipts were on, and then it just weren't, they just weren't.
No, I don't. You don't have to open a message to read it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he read it. He just never opened it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I laughed when she first told me that, because that's actually the funniest thing ever, like ghosting someone because they had a UTI. Like, are you a man? Also, he's
Especially
a
if like maybe
nurse.
you're the reason I have the UTI.
Yeah, but he's a nurse. And UTIs are like so extremely common. It's not like a sexually transmitted disease. It's not like, it's just something that happens if you have a vagina. Next question. Can you give us an update on our man, the Sagittarius?
I don't know if it's gonna go any further. He has made no plans to see each other. He did Zell me money for my fa, which was crazy. And then when I argued about it, he sent me more money. And we don't know how we feel about that. Um, but essentially, it's like whenever he feels like hanging out, whenever he feels like spoiling me. But like, what happens when I asked him today, oh, like, what are your plans this weekend? And he just kept asking me other questions and never answered. Um, so,
Um, and I think last time we updated everyone on what Sagittarius was at, you were really excited about him. That went down
yeah,
quickly. And what did I say?
unfortunately.
The moral of the story, Emily's always right. One, because I said Sagittarius will care and also not care simultaneously at the same time, so perfectly, so effortlessly. Um,
Honestly,
but
words have never been truer.
they had like planned a day, and then something happened where like y'all weren't seeing each other for a bit, or like rescheduled or something. And then randomly, oh no, he was like, oh, I don't like to hang out with people because I'm almost home, I'm almost always home, blah blah blah,
Oh,
like I
yeah.
need to feel it out because I've dated a lot of weirdos and I don't want to spend money on weirdos. Sir, you're the weirdo. Out of nowhere, he like texts you and he's like, do you want to go get tacos? And their first
Yeah.
date was eating tacos that he brought from where he lives and sat in the car, which
Yeah. I made
I
the
don't.
best of, and I brought a card game, and
Yeah, no,
and
Nani
we
was
hung out for
very
like 2 hours. And it wasn't bad. And I don't mm, like I know Emily's like, no red flags. This is weird.
no, 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 no. It's not that it's a red like that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. But it's everything else that came after.
But yeah,
Like the second time that they hung out or and they kissed, they pecked.
yeah,
And then the second time that they hung out, they were hung out in the car again. Then they kissed again, and then after that second time, he was like, "I think we shouldn't kiss anymore."
yeah. And like he initiated the first kiss that night, like when I first saw him. So and he just said he himself was surprised he did it, and I was like, okay. And then when he did kiss me, it wasn't like I was like groping him or all over him. It was like he would pull me in and he would get multiple kisses. But I think he's just worried that he's gonna like get feelings or start crushing on somebody too quick. And it seems like he's like very tentative of what he's doing. And he's obviously dating other people, which is fine. But he's like really wants to be known that like I am dating other people and I am like, you know, I am taking my time.
Valid. So yeah, just real weirdo things. We asked him what his rising and moon sign is, and at first he was just like, "I don't want anyone judging me based on like stupid shit." Like, dude, lighten up, lighten up. It's not life is not that serious. I just hate him. I just don't like him. I think he is just annoying. And we're feeling like we're he's like, I don't want to force it, I don't want to force it, but it does feel like he's forcing like these rules, and he's like, I just want to take care of you, I just want to spoil you, but he like doesn't want to like actually go out anywhere, and he's just like
Yeah.
sending you money, which I say cash in, baby. But
Yeah, but that's not what I'm looking for, you know? I'm fine with like taking things slow. I just feel like I also wanna, I guess it's that male Leo energy in me.
And I can't roll with a woman that has like masculine energy. And if anything, a Leo is a masculine energy. It's a masculine sign. That's why you're single.
That's why I'm single, guys, because I'm a Leo with masculine energy.
no, he
Wait,
said
what was the other reason I was single? Because I don't want marriage and kids. I feel like I also want to be like, hey, I'd like to see you. And then, I don't know, maybe get to see you.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and I think the beauty of dating casually is that different people can supply different needs. So
Yeah.
you can have this man that's just giving you money and just wants you to text him occasionally. Like, that is a dream. And then find someone else to give you the romance, find someone else to give you the sex.
That sounds exhausting to me right now, but
It
okay.
is exhausting. Any other
Are we gonna
updates on
talk
your
about
end?
you now?
Any
Like
other updates on your
I'm
end?
like waiting. No, that's it.
Okay.
That's everything.
So my ex, uh, some background on who this person is to me. We started dating. I had just gotten out of a 8 month relationship with the last man I've ever dated. And I have referenced her in the past because I said on our first date I came out to her and she was like, "Oh yeah, cool, awesome," and I was like, "Oh, I'm a lesbian, great, amazing." And I think it went by like quickly. Like it was very lesbian coded. Like our first date was at a bar. We went to the club afterwards. We were just like making out. And I thought it was just gonna be. There's a lot of red flags for sure. But I thought it was just gonna be casual. That did not happen. We lived 3 minutes from each other, so I think that that didn't help also. But she had a really weird relationship with her roommate.
Oh
And
God, I
like
forgot
she
about
would,
that.
yeah, like like she would. I would say like, "Do you want to hang out or something?" I'm like, "Oh, I have to make lunch for tomorrow for me and like my roommate." Or I'm making dinner for me and my roommate. Or I have to hang out with me and my roommate. And like mind you, and like that's fine. Like spending time with your friends is fine. But mind you, they like worked near each other. They like drove together. They like did everything together. So I'm like, this is suspicious. And lesbians. And I'm like, okay, they dated before. So I asked, like, did you date before? She's like, no, of course not. And then I think it was our third date. I get into her car and I look up and there's a picture of them, like a photo booth picture of them. And in one of the pictures, they're kissing.
I remember
Uh,
this.
yeah. And I was just like, okay. And that was one of our first arguments because I was like, you say that this is really weird to me. Like, you're telling me that you're not, but like, there's this picture, blah, blah. And she, like, whatever.
You know how many
Uh,
pictures me and Emily have in a photo booth kissing?
Kissing?
0.
0. That's not very
Been
lesbian coded
friends
of
for
us.
7 years. We're lacking.
I think if I would kiss you, I would scream and like combust.
I
I think
think
it
you'll
would
be
be
like,
no. I'd be think I would might fall in love with you. I don't know. It's too
don't do
intimate.
that. No, 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 no. Either
Imagine.
way, let's go back to this person and their photo booth
Anyways,
picture.
um, I guess then they have a conversation where she like brings it up to her roommate, and her roommate confesses her love for her. It's so
Right.
la I sound like I'm telling like I'm lying, like I'm just like
This was
making
real
this up.
life.
This was real life, and it gets worse. So basically the roommate is upset now because things are getting serious between her and I. And this is such a good podcast, first of all. The roommate is getting upset because we're spending more and more time together. So on the nights that she sleeps over, the roommate argues with her about like how dare you not stay
Dumb
like come
shit.
over or something.
Oh,
Yeah, and no, and they used to have like really heated arguments and whatever. And
like that's her
my
wife. And you're going to your girlfriend's
actually
house.
actually and so that is a thing. The roommate is like, I need to move away. I cannot like watch you basically fall in love. I need to move away. And I'm taking the cats. One of the cats was my girlfriend's at the time, and one of the other cats was hers, and they were friends. Um, but they were both under her name because my ex thought that she couldn't like put a cat under her name because the roommate told her that she couldn't get a cat under her name if she was adopted. Which, by the way, because my ex is here on a visa, that is a lie. You can adopt a cat. They do not care. So the roommate had told her that she couldn't. So then when they were going to separate, she was like, I'm going to take the cat. And she's like, what? Like, you can't take my cat. And then they're like arguing about cat custody for like weeks, what it feels like,
That's as lesbian as it gets right there.
literally. And then one day, like it was a Thursday maybe, the roommate's mom comes to help her just pack her shit up. And like they're leaving that weekend. Um, and my ex is like, okay, that's fine, but like you cannot get my cat. And then we're talking about how we're gonna like stop her from like taking the cat. And my ex doesn't want to do anything about it. I'm like, can you take the cat and like put her somewhere else? My ex is like, no, she's not gonna do that. She's not gonna do that. Like, we're watching Barbie. When we get out of Barbie, that roommate had like texted her a whole bunch saying, we're leaving now. And she just like took her cat. Also, what I missed
Jesus.
out on is that the roommate was buying off the car from my ex. She was making like monthly installments. She just took that car, like basically stole it, like took the title from wherever the title was, which my ex had it. Like, she didn't have the title, my ex had it. She found it, she took it, and she stole the car and the cat randomly. Like, we were watching Barbie, and so I drop her off at her house, and she's like, they're not here.
Oh my God.
Insane. Insane, insane. So obviously I'm being a very supportive girlfriend, and I'm like, this is a lot. Like, and the entire time I'm just like, do you need me to like go there to your house and like set some boundaries, because it's clear that y'all don't have any, and that you're scared to stand up to her, but like what they're doing is not right. And she's like, no,
Yeah.
like they're not gonna do that. Like, she had a lot of hope that the roommate wouldn't do that, but the mom was a piece of shit.
Oh.
Yeah, so the mom was a piece of shit, and the mom was basically like, we're going. Um and yeah, that was that, and that was crazy. And then my ex moved out of that apartment, and when we were moving out, I went to help. Their things were enmeshed. Like she had things in her room, the roommate had things in her room. Like I was like, I never brought that up in the relationship. I never said anything. I was like, you're obviously going through a hard time. I'm not going to question it. I'm going to believe that what you told me about that relationship is the truth. And this is just like a storage, like a lack of storage problem. But it was things like my ex's college diploma was hung in her room.
Why?
The majority of my ex's clothes was in her room,
And she
like
thought
in
this
the
was normal?
closet. I don't know. And I to this day, now knowing what I know now, I don't know that they weren't in love or something. I don't know, but it was
Hmm.
really fucking weird.
I
We
feel like she would
we
have told you.
I don't. I think okay.
No,
I
not your ex, but their roommate.
and I don't think so either because I think it was like I don't know. Like I don't know to be honest. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I maybe um we stay together. I'm a support system. I think I remember like texting Nani like when this all started of like I know how this is gonna end.
Yeah.
This is gonna end really badly, but she needs to make her own decisions, and I like I just need to be here as a person of support because I can't make these decisions for her.
Yeah.
And we're together, and her anxiety gets really bad, and she starts like lashing out at me. Um, And I'm just like, I can't tolerate that. She goes on anxiety medication and she starts seeing a therapist at this time. I had been with my therapist at this time for like a year and a half. And to be honest,
Oh
everything
God.
happened. No, everything happened so. I think of that time and I had a hard time processing everything after everything ended because everything happened so gradually and then it just like went it was just bad. And at that point when things were really bad, I was already in love. I felt like I knew her character and I felt like I had a really hard time because I could empathize with a lot of what she was going through. And this was a pattern in our relationship where I could empathize with a lot of what she was going through, and I could empathize with like her triggers, and I could even empathize with the fact that she
Yeah.
felt like she needed to like be mean to me sometimes, and also of like why are you being so mean to me? Like so our relationship was a hot mess. Maybe one day I have a notes app of crazy shit that she did to me that made me lose my shit. Our relationship ended really fucking badly. And so, I mean, we've seen each other in spaces. The Denver queer community is relatively small. The only time that we've ever spoken after we broke up was we broke up in the beginning of April. This was mid like 13th of July to be exact, or 12th of July to be exact. I had seen someone and we had ended, and I was there with my like other person that I was seeing, and then my ex, let's say, situationship, and my ex girlfriend, the one that we've been talking about this entire time, we're dancing like in the same friend group. So I look at that and I'm like, absolutely not. Me and my ex situationship did not end on super bad terms. We didn't end really badly. We just were like at completely different like places in our lives. So I was like, I don't think that they know that this is the ex that I was like crying to them about and like trying to process everything. So I just like went up to them and I was like, "Hey, this is my ex." Um, and she's like, I didn't know that, blah, blah. Then my ex girlfriend comes up to us while we're talking, like away from that group and everything. She comes up to us and she's like, this is my toxic, speaking about me, this is my toxic and abusive ex. Stay away from her. And the entire fucking night, my ex has her arms around my ex situationships, and she's like talking her ear off, blah blah blah. And this is gonna be important. Actually, this is gonna be really important. Um, so that was the last time that we talked until this Tuesday.
That's
Again,
crazy.
I'm setting the scene.
It wasn't in
It's
my 2025 bingo card. I'll tell you
that
that.
is what I keep saying. I was like, this was not on my bingo card. Like, we ended so badly that I just like genuinely, and I had
And
genuinely
I
thought that,
truthfully believe that she felt like she was right and like this kind of
yes,
thinking was never gonna come up.
yes, and that's why it's been so, I think, so hard for me to process her calling, because in my head it was just like, I know that she's never going to truly understand what went on that day. She calls me. I like Tuesday, 10 o'clock. I was already asleep. So I pick up. It's no caller ID. I pick up on a no caller ID because on Friday, this is Tuesday, on Friday, I had gotten two no caller ID calls. The first time, I got a call around like 10 o'clock. I was outside. They hung up right away. I get another call, no caller ID, 2 o'clock in the morning. I pick up. They're on the phone for 15 seconds. I'm like, are you going to say something? I hang up. I thought it was someone else until Tuesday. And
Oh
then
shit.
I'm like, hello? And she's like, hi. I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, do you know who this is? I'm like, yeah. Because she has an accent. Um, and truthfully, I blacked out. I was like,
I think that's fair.
what the fuck?
Am
I
I
was like,
dreaming?
but not in a good way. I'm like, it's just a fucking nightmare. I was like, and she just like starts apologizing. And she's like, I just don't really like the way that we ended. Like, I am sorry. Like, I was just like in a different space back then and blah, blah, blah. And she's saying that. And I'm like, kind of like, I forget for a second who she is. I forget about, because she's said this many times throughout our entire relationship. I said, the only thing that I ever asked for was love, kindness, and respect, and she could not give me those things. And every single time I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying to be a better person every time. For a second, while she was apologizing, I had forgotten that I've heard this before. Like, it
Oof.
felt like, okay, I'm here. I'm believing you. Until she says, you remember that girl that you were seeing after me, blah, blah. I said, yeah. She's like, yeah, she was like, I found out afterwards that she was just using me to like get back at you. And like, she was like trauma dumping on me about like your entire relationship. And I didn't want to
So
talk
now you're
about it.
lying.
I snapped out of it like that.
And you said, oh, we're back.
So yeah, me and my situationship at that time, we had a friendship and stuff. So they kind of told me everything that went down, and they told me like really mean things that she said and really mean things that they said, and I read text messages and everything. So when she's telling me this fake ass story, I'm like, girl, I like slap out of it.
Very doctored.
I'm like, okay, boo. And I don't say anything at that time. Then she's like, how are you feeling about everything? About like trying to gauge where I'm at of things. And I say, I don't know. Like, this is a lot. I have to process. Like, I
Yeah.
appreciate you trying to apologize. I was like, but I don't know. Like, this is just a lot. Like, I wasn't expecting this. And I'm like trying to hang up. And I'm trying to hang up. I kid you not, maybe 15 minutes. I keep saying, like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Like, I'll text you. Like, do you
I
still have your...
think they really I think they really wanted to hear like, it's okay, I forgive you. And I'm really glad that you didn't give that.
No, yeah.
I'm really glad that you were like, no, I need to process this. Because sometimes people just need the it's okay, I forgive you, I understand to validate their way of being or the way they acted. And you continuing to say, no, like, I need time to process. I appreciate you telling me this, but not acknowledging or accepting the apology right away. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I there was no part of me, and there is no part of me that will ever accept any of her apologies, because I truly don't. I was telling my therapist this today of, I don't, I think that she believes that she's sorry to the extent that she could possibly be sorry. But she
Mm.
will never truly be sincerely sorry, because she will never grasp the things that she does wrong. She will never understand fully, and she's never bothered to understand the extent that it hurt me. There's a sentence that she says earlier that for a sliver of a second I did feel like she got it, like she understood. So throughout this entire conversation, she's trying to gauge how I'm feeling. At this point, I have texted all of my friends. I'm on the phone with her what's her face. Um, she says something along the lines of like, "Oh, but don't go telling anyone." I'm like, "Huh?" And she's like I'm doing this out of my own like of fruition. Like I'm doing this out of my own conscience, and like I'm making this decision for myself. That to me, I have only ever heard, but don't go telling anyone, from old men who should not have been talking to me, who were in positions of
Hmm.
power.
Ooh.
Is a manipulation tactic, as like,
Mm.
don't go telling anyone because they know they're going to tell you it's going to be a bad idea. That this is her prepping me. And this is, I think,
That, or also somebody can corroborate a different story.
and it sucks because I don't think that she's doing it on purpose. I think she is just a narcissist, like true textbook definition of a narcissist, and she thinks this is okay. She thinks that this is how it's okay to act. So when she does these things, it's not on purpose. It's just who she is, and that's kind of the scary part. Then I'm at this point, I'm still trying to hang up. I'm like, yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. I like text you tomorrow. Like, I just need to process. Like, a lot is going on. And she's like, can I ask something crazy?
It's my favorite question.
I said, yeah. She's like, can I see you?
No.
That's quite. I literally was like, no. And she's like, why not? And I was like, I don't think that you and I are gonna have coffee anytime soon.
Why does she want to see you?
At 10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
She's been seeing you for months, out and about.
I don't know. But at this point, I had already texted my friends. I was like, I think she wants to get back together. And that question kind of solidifies it for me,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen, blah, blah. I shut that shit down. Then she's like, can I say something else that's crazy? I was like, what? And now I'm doing it for the plot, to be honest. I'm doing it for the podcast. I'm like, what's up? She's like, I don't want to hang up. She's like, I don't want to stop
We
talking.
can tell.
No, she said, I don't want to stop talking
We
to
can
you.
tell.
Literally. I was like,
So she flirting. She's straight up pulling all her
I
guns.
think so. And then I'm like, I really need to process things. Like, I really need to.
She said, no, I'm going to be really sweet to you right now, sugar. Like, let's talk.
I told my friend, I was like, what if I take her back for the plot?
Emily, no.
For the podcast
For
research.
the love of God, Emily.
No, that'd be
People
crazy.
watching
That's so
this.
funny.
People watching this. Let's remind Emily all the time she called Anechka stressed.
Literally.
Okay?
And the times I didn't call, which I was even more stressed.
That were probably worse.
Yeah, let's talk about that. There was one time where she was just berating me. She's like going ham on me. The only way that she stopped is because I started to FaceTime Nani. I said, this bitch is here,
That's
and
true.
she has told me this, and this, and she's telling me this, and this. And I was like, and now she wants to shut the fuck up because she doesn't want anyone to think, like, see her being a terrible person.
Bad of her. Yeah.
Yeah. She did not say a word. She didn't say a word
Nothing.
the entire time.
She said, oh no, can you like please hang up? Let's just talk, just us. I remember.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
remember that. I literally, and I said everything that she had just said to me to Nani because so that like, even if Nani didn't hear you, I'm telling her what you said to me right here, and you're here, and you can't argue it because you did just say that. It was,
And they didn't argue it.
and they didn't argue, and they shut the fuck up. But this was our like kind of relationship where it's like berating me, and then to everyone is just like, oh, I'm like so kind to Emily, and I'm this and this, and no, you suck. Immediately after we hang up, she texts me and she's like, I'm sorry if that was overwhelming. I don't answer. I go back to bed, and I actually sleep really fucking good. So tell me, how in depth do you want me to take you? Do you want me to read the text messages?
Ooh, let's get a snippet.
She's like, I'm sorry if I was overwhelming. The next day I answered. I was like, it's all right. Can I ask if you were sober? This was something.
It's a valid question.
Yeah. Towards the end of our relationship, we were together from March to December. In December, she was on antidepressants, and I was also on. I had just started my antidepressants and my Vyvanse, and so I was noticing how alcohol was affecting me. And at this point, her and I could not go out together and drink because it would turn ugly every single time. And so one time, it was after we had a market, we worked it, and I said, oh, like, can we just like take it easy on like the alcohol? To her, I was controlling. She's like, what do you mean? Blah, blah. I was like, it's just because we're both on antidepressants, and I don't want us to like we've had a good day. Yeah. We're celebrating. And she's like, you're just being controlling, blah, blah, blah. We get to the club that night. My ex is there, which I had never seen my ex before. And she's like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. I don't know. I'm a lesbian anymore. I don't even like this man. And then when we get home to the car, she's like, you were just trying to see your ex the entire night. Crazy. Anyways, she has a problem with alcohol and she hasn't realized it. She's like, how are you feeling this morning? I said, I genuinely do not know. She's like, fair, take your time. And again, I'm sorry if I'm disturbing. I was like, appreciate that. She's like, I just want you to know, and you don't have to believe me, but I'm not the same person, especially emotionally. You're still a stinking liar who lies. And then she's like, oh my God, I forgot to say something. Right before we hang up, I think that she didn't get what she wanted out of the conversation. She didn't get oh my God, I'm so happy to hear from you. I thought I'll never hear from you. I appreciate your call. I appreciate your apology. Of course, I forgive you. She didn't get that. And she's like, I also want to talk about some of the things that you did wrong in the relationship. That was the last
because
thing.
Now, let's shift the weight, right? Of like, it's not just me.
Yep.
Let's also make sure that you're also at fault.
Yeah, because if it would have
So is there something you want to say, Emily? Is there like...
Yep.
2 words you want to say to me right now?
Yep. And then she says, I have some questions for you too. I said, could you share those questions and I can answer them once I can? I thought we were filming yesterday, so I just wanted those questions for the podcast. Both me and my therapist agreed that she was trying to feel out like where we are and how much of an impact she has on me. She said, do you think where you're at in your healing journey, the questions would trigger you? I said, no. They would. They did. But I'm going to say no because you don't get to have that power over me. I will bleep out the third question. She said, 1, did you ever actually see a future with me? Like genuinely long term? Do you have any regrets with us? And then 3. I don't answer her dumbass questions. I just don't. But then she asked me if I was seeing one of my friends while we were together. She's like, also none of my business. It's not my fucking business. I did sleep with my friend afterwards. Yes, I did. But not during. And she's like, I'm really sorry. I hate how things played out and I hate how I hurt you. I was like, I wish I believed that. I was telling Nani off camera that at this point I had gone back and I have read like our conversations. I had gone back and read the conversation of when we got back together because we broke up in December because things were just so bad. Like her friends hated me. My friends hated her. Like we could not be out in public together. Like it was just bad because we'd argue all the time. And I was like, I just need some space. Like I need some time. Like I'm just not, like this is not great. And from December up until March, she was like begging for me back. She was like, I'll do anything. Like, I just want to make it up to you. I just want to be with you, blah, blah. And the day that we got back together, which is the conversation that I went to go read, it was March 17th. And we were arguing from 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. The entire day, we're arguing. And I just sent a message and I'm like, are you home? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, do you want to come over? She's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, I'm tired of arguing. Like, that's how we got back together. Like, it was just like, I'd been drained out, like arguing for months and months and months. And this particular day, we were arguing for the entire day about why, like, about her mistreating me. And then I was just like so tired. And like, I was like, let's just do, like, I have whatever. Like, I have nothing. When she came to my door that night, I said, we were about to make a year in 5 days. And I said, please do not make me make a year with you if you're going to treat me the way that you always have. I was like, I cannot make a year with someone that has disrespected me. And this was not the first time that I expressed that. Like, every time that she would ask me back, and I was like, I cannot say that I spent a year with someone who cannot give me the bare minimum of love, respect, and kindness. Like, I cannot. And she walked in and she was like, I won't. And we walked in. For those 3 weeks we were together, I was perfect. I was everything that she ever. I did not argue. I appeased. We had sex because she used to say that I was withholding sex from her, but it's because I wasn't like feeling safe with her because she was not a safe person. In the end, she was the one who broke up with me. She broke up with me because I left the club after I had said, if things start to get bad, I'm going to remove myself. And she said, yes, I understand. Things got bad. I removed myself. And she's like, that's the worst thing that you could have done. And that was her done. She was done with me. After 3 months of her begging for me, after 3 weeks because I left the club because she threw my phone at me, she was done. Hot tea. Anyways, she's apologizing in this timeline, in this reality. Yesterday. She's like, I hate how things played out and I hate how I hurt you. I said, I wish I believed that. She said, I really mean it, but I get how over text and just me popping up out of nowhere, it's invalid for you not to believe me. I just want to keep it real with you. I also just want to say that this bitch doesn't know how to fucking text. I am making her sound so much more well put together because I know what she meant, but she cannot fucking text. She
can't.
I said, I know that you ideally would like me to apologize as well for the things that I did, and it feels like you're reaching out to me to admit the things that I did versus a genuine apology. If what you need is an admission of guilt, let me know, but please don't mask it with an apology. Because she's like slightly saying like, oh yeah, but you did things that are bad too. Like, okay, yeah. I did not reach out for an apology though. Like, I didn't need this closure that you apparently
So are you coming to apologize to me, or are you trying to get what you want?
Yeah, I'm like, what is it? And she's like, no, not at all, to be honest. That's why I brought the questions after. And even if you choose to not answer them, it's okay. I figured out my own path to self-healing with them. But what you are sus about makes sense. And if I was looking for an apology, I don't still think I would reach out, to be honest. I did not reach out with that intent. I said, I appreciate, and here I'm appeasing. I'm kissing ass. I'm like, I'm not going to give her what she wants, but I want to like remain calm. So I'm like, I appreciate you providing reassurance around that. What the fuck, bitch? I said, I appreciate that you're trying to apologize, but it feels like you're still lying. I know what really went down with you and my ex-situationship, and it did not went down how you were describing it last night, and I'm more inclined to believe her than you. She said, could you elaborate on that? Trying to sense out what I know. And she's like, I can definitely provide more context with that too. I never said that was the full story.
Oh, girl, so you just gave me the edited version that you wanted to?
The edited
and hope
version
that was good enough?
The edited version don't even make sense. It don't make sense. She's like, she tricked me to get back at you. No, she didn't. She fucking did not. It was like, and I didn't want to talk to her because of my trauma triggers around our relationship. But that's also not the full story. And again, I'm being honest. I'm not lying to you. There's literally a text message of her hitting up my ex-situationship, talking about, can we talk about Emily? There's literally a text message. Maybe she found out that we have a podcast and she just didn't want me to talk about her.
That's awkward because here we are.
I said, can you provide the full context of how you think the conversation went? Or, I mean, it doesn't really matter because she did share with me all of the awful things that you said about me. So if you just want to address those, you can. Besides all of that, what's your intent? She said, and I'm sorry about my words. I'm not going to lie and say And yes, I did say things, but I'm also going to be honest and say I don't remember exactly everything I say. That's convenient.
That's a good way to be like,
She's yeah.
I might have said it, but I don't
She
remember.
she said, "So if you have any questions regarding statements, ask me." She wants me to tell her what I know so then she can admit
Because
to them.
why would you, and like as a person who's been lied to many times, the person who has been caught will always be like, well, what do you know? Because they're never going to explain the whole situation and you end up finding out more than what you do actually know. God forbid that they over like tell on themselves, you know? So they're always going to monitor. Okay, so what do you know? Okay, but I can
Yep.
explain this, this, and this. And like you are technically missing like 15 more percent, but that's okay. I'm not going to bring that
You suck. You're bad
in.
at it. Like how are you how is your entire personality you being a piece of shit and then you're just like shitty at it? So shitty that a
Wait.
year after you somehow find yourself back texting your ex. Embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. It's so delusional. Can I see you? No. Then she says what she's looking for is mutual resolution slash peace. May I remind you that is what I said the previous night. She likes to use my words and then take them as her own. I said, I thought we had that. I'm at peace. She said, yeah, but I wanted something genuine because I know that you're still sus of me. Bitch, I don't think about you except when I'm traumatized.
Damn.
I said, I'm not sus of you. I know you have your story and I'll have mine. And I know that we'll never come to a conclusion of what really happened. But I also know that it isn't necessary for us to. We've been living our lives just fine without peace. She said, true, you're right. I said, yeah. She said, but I still believe that's not how things should have been or be. We definitely had a real last connection, which I keep making the joke of. That is a crazy way to fucking describe a year relationship. A real last connection. What? We were supposed to move in
That's so
together. I'm like,
so
your
romantic.
your cat is under my name because she's still at this point. That's how we found out that she could actually adopt after I had already adopted it for her. Should I go kidnap her cat? Don't comment
Please
if I should go kidnap her
don't
cat. Don't
don't be as bad
comment.
as her roommate ex-lover situation.
She said, even on the phone last night, I felt as at ease with you.
Must be nice. She didn't,
I
but at
did
least you
not.
did.
I'm very
At
glad.
least one person did.
And and that statement all in itself shows a lot of our relationship of me feeling not on peace, not like completely. We used to argue for so long, like hours and hours and hours, that at the end of it, like me talking, I would feel like I had to throw up. It was awful. I said, I think it's not how things should have been, but I think it might be too late to change this. Don't you think? Now I'm poking because I need content for the podcast. I did this for you. She said, in
Had
this
no
world
point
we
to
currently
ask.
live in, as well. I don't think it's ever too late. I just appreciate the space right here. It's some proof of that. No, she sounds crazy. Like, what?
It's
I
ever too
said,
late.
what does peace look like for you? She's like, I think it's tragic that we both try to avoid each other. And then she says, like, I'm being vulnerable with you, even like reaching out. So I know you can't trust an ex, but be raw. She wants to hear that I'm still in love with her. She wants
Yeah.
to hear something that I'm not telling her, which is,
Well, she's not getting any of the answers or any of the responses that she wants. So she's like trying to make you feel like she's so vulnerable right now to see if you
yeah,
open up and give her
yeah.
what she wants, but she's not getting it because you really
And
are on a different page than she is.
and that's she used to do that when we were together as well, of like she would act out and she would like be mean, and that was her way of being vulnerable, and she's like, I can just be myself around you. And like she used to say that like she treated me the way that she treated me because she held me to a higher standard. So when I held her accountable for
What
things,
kind of backwards brainwashing is that shit?
so when I held her accountable for things and she got upset, it was only because she really valued what I had to say.
I don't want to get to know you then, Pookie. I don't want to be in your close circle.
And that's how I felt like
I don't want to be
I,
tested.
afterwards, I was like, I feel really sorry for anyone who falls in love with you. Anyways, it ended with her trying to have coffee. And I said, that's not
And
going to
you
happen.
saying no. Thank
Me
God.
saying no. And then I said, I'm going to have to run that through my shitty therapist because that was one of the things that she told my ex-situationship. And she's like, you're still seeing that shitty therapist? And I was like, that shitty therapist
Didn't
is the
she
only...
have a shitty therapist?
Girl, I can't even get into that. I got 3 seconds on the storage. I said that shitty therapist is the only reason why I can empathize with your ass. And she's like, I cackled. And that's it.
Damn.
Stay tuned for episode 6. That's crazy. Any final words? You got 2 minutes.
What a ride. Honestly, it was worth the wait. I
Yeah.
can't believe it. When I say it wasn't in my bingo card, I mean it. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was like done and done. But you
Me
know,
too.
life be surprising you just when you least expect it. But I am so
Unfortunately.
proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You truly handled that like a boss. Like you did not give 1 inch. And that is just so good. The therapy's working, guys. The therapy is working.